Hey everybody, and welcome back to We the Revolution. I see Justice has cut her own head off over here. Let's go ahead and jump right back into it. Act 1, Day 7. Yes, that's right, Act 1, Day 7. And we know this. The people shrugged the invisible burden off their backs. The streets seemed more peaceful. Even the windows at the courthouse were soon replaced. So everyone loves the fact that the king is dead. Dear Citizen Fidel, I am writing to congratulate you on becoming a part of the country's history. Yeah. So this guy, we read this before. Francis Henriot wants to become the new National Guard to replace Citizen Burrell. Who do we have here? What is this case? Some time has passed since the liquidation of the widely hated Ferme General. I don't know what that word is. No, I don't want to do that yet. The institution paid duties to the former king and then, often brutally, collected liabilities from the people, usually with considerable interest. Now the National Convention has made the just decision to try all former fermiers general who collected taxes from farmers. Oh, that's that we've liquidated the tax institution? They paid duties to the former king and then would collect liabilities from the people. Okay. Well, that's kind of a weird tax if it was not a part of the government, that it was this other people that like took the money from the people and then passed it up to the king after taking a share. So it wasn't the king doing his own taxing. Blah 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 blah. Let's see where. Let's jump back here. We will present the evidence against one of them, Antoine Lavoisier. The very first evidence of his guilt is the sheer fact that he earned his post through nepotism. Aside from collecting taxes from starving peasants, he was also involved in all manners of business, and not always honest ones. Several witnesses have claimed that he was frequently trading in damp tobacco, sold at exorbitant prices. We have not found any indication of this aforementioned adulteration in Lavoisier's documents, but is a topic widely discussed on the streets of Paris. Well, if there's no evidence of it, we can't accept that. He used money from the taxes to finance his private laboratory, where he carried out many chemical experiments. Many Parisian chemists that were approached during this investigation called Lavoisier a brilliant scientist. Of course, this alone does not mean treason. However, the accused frequently corresponded with foreign scientists. We've established that he supported them with the money taken from French peasants, and that it is possible that he was also sharing the results of his research. Why not keep it all for the French people? Alright, the common folk want him deceased. The revolutionaries want him acquitted. What are we looking here? I mean, we're halfway. So we could stand to anger either one of them, honestly. Can you show me what would happen? I'm not gonna sign it, I promise. Can you show me what would happen if I sentence him to death, sentence him to prison, if I quitted him? Ooh. If I acquitted him, the common folk really hate that. Common folk would be really freaking pissed off. Wow. Common folk, I don't like you guys very much. We may want to, I mean, I hate to min-max this game and not try to be the proper moral thing, but if I hit acquittal, like, if I do this, I'm guaranteed that whatever the next thing happens, whatever the next trial is, I have to do whatever the common folk say, or else I'm going to be murdered. It says risk of death, but I'm assuming that if this goes to 0, you're done for. This is not risk of. This is pretty much done for. So I'm gonna treat that way. So I think we have to just go ride the straddle the fence here and maybe go for prison, even though it doesn't seem like he's very much actually guilty of anything. But let's unlock some questions. We have to fill in the offender's personality, the accusation, whether it was counter-revolutionary, what's evidence, and what is extenuating circumstances. Firme Générale, the report, scientific research, foreign scientists, brilliant scientists, fraud, various businesses. I don't remember what's the deal with various businesses. Oh well, let's see what we can knock out. Report has to be like evidence, right? There we go. Yep. Scientific research is brilliant scientist must be offender's personality. And it's also an extenuating circumstance? Okay. The fraud is an accusation. Foreign scientists is counter-revolutionary if he's colluding with foreign scientists. The Firme Générale, that's part of the offender's personality because he was part of that group? No, not correct. Okay. That's part of that's counter-revolutionary? Okay. And various businesses is part of his personality. Okay. Whatever. The people are calm. Well, that's good. Well, let's ask you some questions, sir, and you'd be lucky if we send you to prison. Yes, punish those filthy leeches, says the audience. Those people simply must be decapitated. They symbolize everything the common Frenchman revolted against. Really? Please introduce yourself. My name is Antoine Lavoisier. What is your occupation, Mr. Lavoisier? I aided tax collection in the Firme Générale, and I am also a scientist. Allow me to add immodestly that I have made a number of very important discoveries. Oh, have you now? Do not boast before the court. Sure, tell us how you ate pâté with our money. Aside from your position at the Firme Générale and your scientific works, ... How did you become a Fermier Général? There are so many rumors about it. You have been accused of swindles and deceits of all sorts. One of them is selling damp tobacco. Let us talk about the money you stole from the state treasury. Did you keep your laboratory in operation using taxpayers' money? Why did you not focus solely on science? Or tell us more about the foreign scientists that ask for your help and financial support. Who are they? Well, let's check. One other thing I need to know, is there any questions we need to answer? Did the defendant confess to his crimes? Was his act counter-revolutionary in nature? Did the defendant send money to foreign scientists? So we need to know this answer. We need to ask about that, at least. Tell us more about the foreign scientists that asked for your help and financial support. Yep. Who were they? Some of them were Italian chemists, great scientific minds, but not so talented when it comes to raising money. Bartolomeo Beccaria, Diego Patarsa, Daniele Marconi. You supported the Italians, even though they have been at war with France so many times? That's right. We have fought with each other and every one of our neighbors. What does that have to do with science? Was it not scientists like you who created the firearm, an object that completely changed the art of war? My work was not connected to weaponry. Can we believe you? Alright, let's ask about the The money you stole from the state treasury. What stolen money? What is the basis of the accusation? The money you were stealing from France was used to support foreign scientists. Why? We do not know. But we do suspect it had something to do with the war. I was financing foreign research, yes, but with my own money and had nothing to do with the war. You were acting against the best interests of the state. That is treason. Do you know what we do with traitors? Let me just say that it will take you only an instant to cut off this head, but 100 years may not suffice to reproduce its like. The Republic has no need for scientists. Okay, so we've moved into to imprisonment territory. Let's ask about your position at the Ferme General and your scientific works. Do you have any other occupations? I am also a member of the Gunpowder Commission, and before the beginning of the revolution, I was assigned to officiate the Administrative Council of the Caisse des Comptes, whatever that is. I don't know. Do you not think that is a lot for just one person? Greedy fraud. The people who assigned me to these positions never once complained about the quality of my work. It must be a coincidence that most of these people have already been sentenced to prison or to the guillotine. Someone is finally taking care of those thieving rogues. Alright, people are pretty anxious right now. The jury's opinion is that he should go to prison. How did you become one of the tax collectors? I inherited the position from my father-in-law. Filthy nepotist. Why did you agree to take it? I was working for the King of France, for the whole state, really. I was honored by it. To be honest, I also enjoyed the work. You enjoy being rich. I think you married, because you wanted your father-in-law to give you that position? What a revolting insinuation. The truth is that thanks to the marriage, you started earning a lot more money than the average person. Marrying a wealthy woman is not a crime. How old was your wife when you married? 13. I do not see the age of my wife is relevant to this case. Alright, if we ask any more questions, like, we're going to be into off with his head territory, so let's ask about the swindles about damp tobacco. You've been accused of swindles and deceits of all sorts. One of them is selling damp tobacco. Absurd. I have personally admonished my suppliers to make sure that the tobacco stays dry. Look through my papers. You will find the reports. You could have put those reports among other papers to deceive us. People like him are naturally born liars. I have kept exemplary documentation, never once acting against my conscience. The conscience of a tax collector. I assume it did not stand in your way when you were taking money from starving farmers. I always acted according to French tax legislation. That law was dreadful. Well, it was the law at the time, though, wasn't it? We could ask more questions. So I think we'll stay in this territory. Why did you not focus solely on science? I had enough time to engage in various activities. If you focused on one field, you could be more efficient, don't you think? Thank you for your concern, but my daily routine is none of your business. No, it's not. As a public official, you should spend all your time and energy on your work for the state, but you did not. What will that leech say now? Regular people have to focus on one task. For me, it is not enough. I would be bored to death. And, okay, did you keep your laboratory in operation using the taxpayers' money? Yes. What exactly did you discover? Anything useful? I explained, among others, the phenomenon of combustion, disproved the phlogiston theory, constructed the calorimeter. What is he talking about? Do the discoveries help the regular citizen? Science does not necessarily immediately help people, but one day these discoveries will. Did you hear that? Science doesn't help people. How much money was spent on your research? I never measured it. I've been working on my discoveries for years. He didn't measure it because we were paying. Alright, people are irritated now. Well, I think we have to split the difference and go for, the defendant confessed to his crimes? No. Was his act counter-revolutionary in nature? I mean, it didn't seem so. The defendant sent money to foreign scientists. He sent the taxpayers money. Lavoisier did not send any money. He did, but it was his private money. That's what he said. Pretty sure that's what he said. All right, let's sign. Hopefully we got some of that right. And let's sign the verdict for prison. Yeah, look how deep that hit is. That's crazy. Prison it is. Don't know what he's guilty of, but we have to save our own bacon, honestly. This is what the jury wanted. For his crimes, Antoine Lavoisier is sentenced to prison. Take the convict away. That verdict is far too lenient for such a profound enemy of the Republic. Only prison for a traitor like him? Impossible. What kind of punishment is that? Okay, so apparently his act was... Do you think everything is counter-revolutionary, Mr. Man? Because I think you do. I think you're just... Everything in the world is counter-revolutionary. Common folk -4, revolutionaries -2, reputation plus, influence plus. All right, let's move on. Let's go home. Hello, Francois Henriot. You're here to try to get Burrell's job, right? Your wife told me that I should seek the support of just people. That if I seek the support of just people, I should look for them in your house. Well, thank you, wife. Yes, Citizen Henriot, my husband will be more than happy to endorse your candidacy for the post of Commander-in-Chief, will we? We don't know anything about this man. Why does this feel like a fait accompli? So why does this feel like this is something that's already accomplished? Like, something we can't change? Please do not be angry at your wife. I am sure that she acted in good faith when she made those promises. How could anyone refuse to support such a respectable officer? I'm certain that my husband will acknowledge your merits just as I have. Undoubtedly. But how can I be so sure when there are so many other candidates? Well, I respect the other candidates. They are decent people. However, I can offer you the most precious gift of loyalty. Working together, we can greatly benefit each other, and maybe Paris too. Sir, we should benefit Paris first of all. Never mind the rulings that I'm giving out that benefit me. But you, personally, you should do whatever it takes to benefit Paris. Our family has a high regard for sincerity and loyalty, does it not, my dear? Moreover, we respect each other's boundaries. At every turn. Yes, those ugly rumors about you being an addict should be put to an end. Know that I will never forgive those who have done me, or never forget those who have done me a favor. Words, 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 Citizen Henriot. I am certain that no other candidate has asked for your endorsement. They do not think that you are worthy of their friendship. But I, Francois Henriot, am different, and so are my words. I'm sure my husband has already noticed that. Thank you. Regardless of what the masses are yelling, Paris is only as strong as its united elites. I will not retract my wife's promises, but in the future, make sure that you come to me first. But of course. Alright, so we need Bernard and Aldric to like us a little better. Is there something that does both of those? No. There is not. Of course not. So... sounds like... well, I kind of do... well... this one might be okay. This will boost them up. Let's talk about well, this will knock her down, actually. Not boost her up. Let's do the viola concerto. I know her dad won't like it very much, but Bernard needs to learn how to deal with stage fright if he wants to become a professional musician. You'll have to endure an hour of racket. Okay, let's listen to your concerto. Your viola concerto, Bernard. Yeah, Dad, I know you hate it. And I just noticed that those people have individual things. We should check that next time if I remember. We have the Whiskey Lullaby. The evening is warm, so you decide to take the long way home. Near the Cafe Chantilly, you spot an amusing scene. Two drunkards fighting over a bottle of liquor, cursing like stable boys. The first is shorter and dressed in a disheveled officer's uniform, possibly a colonel. The second fighter, though significantly taller, is just an ordinary street thug. You listen to the gibberish and tangled epithets, only to reach the conclusion that the bottle contains one last gulp of drink. We can try to settle the dispute between the drunkards or just leave them be. I think the smart play is just ignore them and let them fight it out. But I believe that the honorable thing, and I want to say that we're an honorable man, is to try to settle this dispute. Apparently this did not work so well. The two enemies unite in the face of a stranger in an elegant coat. It surely looks comical to the observers when, in a fit of booze-driven solidarity, one tries to hit you in the head with the disputed object, while the other kicks at your ankle. You dodge the bottle, which smashes on a nearby wall, spilling the remaining alcohol everywhere. However, the kick is a success, and immobilizes you long enough for the drunkards to disappear down a back alley. It takes some time for the bystanders to stop laughing. Reputation -2, common folk endorsement -1. Well, we didn't need that. Oh, what's this?
A Paris of a new era.
Okay. What about
Weak, vulnerable to attacks.
So you say?
Waiting for someone to reach for power. Waiting for someone who, once again, will take control of its soul.
Are we that person?
The pawns are now in play.
Recent days have proven that Paris can win, that France can win. We managed to overcome our past, divesting our last remaining tyrant of his power. Now it's time to rebuild, to create symbols that inspire future generations. That is why, during a gathering of the convention, several enterprising citizens proposed the construction of a statue to commemorate the revolutionaries' victory over injustice. You are given the honor of supervising the construction. There is no better candidate than the one who vanquished Louis Capet. You have another opportunity to leave yet another mark on Paris. Alright, so let's figure out what this map's all about. Each section can be controlled by an enemy, or be neutral. Each section you take over provides you with an additional influence point. The chance of mission success is higher in your territory. Enemy sections. Enemy agents can also take over your sections. Actions performed in enemy sections are less likely to be successful. Some sections are locked. Unlock them with any agent to carry out actions within them. To unlock a section, you have to scout it out first. You can only unlock sections adjacent to the ones that are already unlocked. Each section reacts to the situation in the game, causing the fervor of its residents to rise or fall. If their fervor becomes too intense, it could result in destructive riots. Send agents on missions, manage unruly crowds, and fight for influence over the city. Click an agent and choose the action you wish them to carry out. The Bruiser is good at fighting, gaining reputation, and managing unruly crowds. The Diplomat takes over sections, nurtures relations with factions, and lowers fervor. Weaker in duels against enemy agents. You can move your agents freely between your sections. Unfortunately, in hostile or neutral actions or sections, they can only move one space per day. So this is us. Okay. So we just launched right into it here. We have to design what the statue will look like. The more sections under your control, the faster the monument is constructed. Each subsequent stage of completion allows you to take over another building near the monument. This is getting a little complicated. What do we want? What do we want the statue to look like? A man holding some papers, a woman with a sword, a person with their finger up in the air giving a speech, Justice. I mean, we go justice. 100% justice. Pedestal. Round pedestal. Round pedestal for the egalitarian ideal that everyone is equal, that there is no head of the table. Surroundings. Just a regular old park, please. Sign. This is what we want our statue to look like. And stamp. And done. Alright, buildings. Well, this game just got a lot more complicated. Each building lets you perform a different kind of action. Take over ones that support your playstyle. Okay, your residence. We know what that is. Spend more time with your family. Takes 2 influence. Okay, so we finally have something that uses influence. Political salon. You cannot seize this building. Printing house. Hideout. Let's check out this other. Can we check out this place? No. These must be neutral territories. Unknown character has control, so I guess we want to take over. We want to get to the middle and then push him out. We both own 1 control over Paris. Alright, what do we have? Well, we probably want to go put a person over there. Remind me again? Can you remind me what these people... Lower the crowd's fervor. Take over an enemy section. We probably want to do something about that, right? We probably want to knock out this guy if we can. Can I not? Oh, I have to place him on a square. Okay, I gotcha. Increase your influence over the district or take over an enemy section. You can't do that. Can I put him back? Increase your influence. Lower the crowd's fervor. As far as I can tell, there's no fervor. So I probably want to increase your influence. Can I put you in a... Oh, you have to scout it first. Okay, I gotcha. So you're good at scouting, right? You can't scout? You can scout. Let's try to take the edges. So let's scout here. And let's try to increase our influence over this district. Alright, that's what we do. The end. End of the day. Day 8.
A bloody beginning. A violent prologue announced by a flowing red curtain. The wrath of strangers made me sick to my stomach. Feet stirred dark puddles. The air tasted like iron.
The wrath of strangers.
Their heads,
most people
someone
like
cried.
you.
Anger hidden in the shadows. Thousands of cries from a single throat. Here was a beast with hundreds of claws and teeth.
Oh, you mean the wrath of people against anyone, not specifically you.
A kicked, abused, and physically wounded soul.
This dog is missing a leg.
Their heads. What a cold and urgent order. The beast's eyes showed a long-disguised bitterness. Yesterday's envy. It has waited too long to show mercy now. Too long covering its ears while others laughed at its inadequacies and feebleness.
But the people cannot be...
The beast's bark was filled with 1,000 smiles of those who worship this bloody morning.
So the people are in a
The
bloodlust,
day
is what you're
when
telling
their
me.
enemies will perish.
They've been oppressed for so long, they've
Their brothers.
lashed out. And now they're fighting each other, their own brothers. I gotcha. Okay, so this is probably will Oh, what? Let's figure out. Influence point +3, revolutionaries +1, good relationship with your elder son, good relationship with your wife. Who is Marat? Nicknamed the Conscience of the Nations. He's a editor of the self-published newspaper. Le Invité. All right, we're still halfway. We're still semi-liked by people. Good relationship with your elder son makes revolutionaries like you a little better. Good relationship with your wife makes our reputation overall better. The relations with the younger son it's just nice to have, I guess. Then we can see back what happened. And we have information about people we've met, okay, or people we know of. Can I see anything about the board? Can I know about how the city looks like? I guess not. Well, we'll go ahead and end this episode here, and we can find out what's gonna happen with Claude Garnier Fructis. We'll figure out what happens with Claude in the next episode. But until then, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again next time.